Hello and welcome to An Old Man Watches, and today I'm going to be talking about the 1978 British thriller Absolution, starring Richard Burton. And in this film we meet Father Goddard, who is a priest who also teaches at a private school for boys. Two of his students are the popular and intelligent Stanfield and the socially awkward Dyson. Goddard finds Dyson's nebbishness hard to tolerate, and he's often brusque or cold toward the younger man. Stanfield, meanwhile, is one of his favourites, and Goddard hopes the young man will follow his path into the clergy. Those plans start to go awry, however, when Stanfield becomes friends with a drifter and small-time thief named Blakey, who takes up camping in the woods near the school. Father Goddard tries to forbid Stanfield from seeing this bad influence, but a spirit of rebellion has been ignited in Stanfield, and it soon emerges the young man really has no need of external influences to help him be bad. The crimes he reveals in the confessional booth become more and more extreme. As Goddard sees his hopes for his protege become a fear and loathing of the viper in their midst, he struggles with the fact that his faith and his vows are allowing terrible deeds to go unpunished. Is there some way out of this conundrum? So Absolution comes from the pen of Anthony Shaffer, or Schaefer, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, who also wrote a couple of better-known Agatha Christie adaptations of this era, like Death on the Nile, for example, but who may be best known for the 1973 horror/thriller film The Wicker Man. And I feel like I actually like Absolution better than Schaefer's more famous work, because I feel like The Wicker Man is a little overrated overall. Maybe 50 years ago when it came out it was confronting and disturbing, but I don't feel it is anymore. But that said, I do think that there are strong thematic links between the two films. Both movies centre on a man of strong religious convictions who finds himself in a situation which challenges said convictions. Now, the nature of the challenge is by no means the same, and the consequences that come from their decisions about the challenges are different. Father Goddard's struggle feels, to me, it's more internalised, it's more subtle. There's much less direct external coercion on Goddard than is faced by Police Sergeant Howie in The Wicker Man. But obviously, these questions of faith and conviction and being challenged on your beliefs were things that interested Anthony Schaefer. And I think that in the 5 years that elapsed between The Wicker Man and this movie, he found more nuanced and effective ways to write about and to discuss those themes. And I think Absolution does a better job of asking those questions and thinking about the answers. Secondly, the film has a strong cast. Father Goddard, as I said, is played by Richard Burton. And look, in 1978, Burton was far from the height of his fame and success, but he was still a fine actor. In 1978, he would release The Wild Geese, which was a massive international hit. And even when his career finally ended 6 years later, it was in a critically acclaimed performance in the film 1984. And his performance here is a good one. It perhaps verges on the edge of being over the top at times, but then he always was one for bluster and bombast, and he never quite goes too far here. He's also ably supported by a strong British ensemble, including the surprise package of Billy Connolly in his film debut as the drifter Blakey. I mean, Connolly, obviously best known for stand-up comedy and generally being a comedian, shows that he can do a bit more than that here in the role. But the cast in general is good. Finally, from an early stage of this film, well before things start to get truly out of hand, it's pretty clear that young Stanfield has a cruel sense of humour. And the script, too, is capricious and sly, as its twists and turns both torment the staid and rigid Father Goddard and keep the audience on their toes. Now, the truth is a slippery beast in Absolution, but importantly, I feel like the script plays fair with the viewer. Characters can and do lie and deceive, but the film itself does not. Now, I've seen plenty of cinematic twists in the past that only work because the film itself outright lied about something, which is cheating, to my mind. It's more than fine to misdirect me and to let me make false assumptions or to have characters lie about events. But I feel like a film's omniscient kind of viewpoint should be reliable. It should be the characters or the audience's interpretation that is not. Yes, give me the rope to give me the rope to hang myself, mislead myself, show me things that can be interpreted the wrong way. That's legitimate. But don't outright present something as happening and then say, oh no, it didn't really happen, unless what is being shown as happening is like, somebody describing something, and it is clearly framed in that kind of sense. And I think that Schaefer does a good job here of delivering surprises without resorting to cheap tricks. He plays fair with the audience, but it's still a twisty-turny ride. So I think the result is that Absolution is a solid thriller, one I found to be well worth the time that I spent watching it, and one that, if that's, a more thoughtful, slower paced, it was 1978, you're talking over 40 years ago, the film's not as, frenetic as a lot of modern thrillers, it's a more thoughtful film. If that sounds like something that you would enjoy, probably worth you checking it out as well. So that's Absolution. Next time, the fourth and so far final film of the Crow franchise, 2005's The Crow, Wicked Prayer. But that will indeed be next time. Until then, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.